Why most people fail before they even begin. Failure rarely arrives with a crash. It begins as a whisper. It starts in the quiet corners of the mind, long before a single action is taken. Most people lose the battle before they even step onto the field. Not because the world is cruel, but because they surrender to invisible chains. Doubt, hesitation, the small voice that says, wait until you're ready. Think about the great builders of our age. Thomas Edison didn't wait for permission to set the world alight. Henry Ford was mocked for dreaming of a carriage without horses. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Each of them faced a chorus of disbelief, but they began anyway. That single decision to begin while others debated is the quiet moment where destiny separates the bold from the forgotten. The first reason most people fail is simple. They never decide. They drift. They convince themselves that clarity must precede commitment, but decision is the spark that creates clarity. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose, a mind welded to a single aim like steel to fire. Without it, days bleed into years, and life becomes a blur of half-formed intentions. Look around. You'll see countless people with talent, intelligence, even resources, yet they remain stuck. Why? Because the will to begin is rarer than genius. The world is full of dreamers waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives. Perfection is a mirage. Action is the only reality. This is where belief steps onto the stage. Not the soft belief that fades when challenged, but the unyielding conviction that your vision is already written into the fabric of possibility. Carnegie once said that any idea held in the mind, emphasized and feared or revered, will begin to clothe itself in the most convenient form. Belief is the architect. Action is the builder. Without belief, action crumbles under the first storm. Picture a mountain shrouded in mist. Most stand at the base, calculating, waiting for the fog to clear. The successful begin climbing while others measure the incline. Every step upward sharpens their vision. The summit reveals itself only to the ones who start the ascent. Discipline is the bridge between belief and achievement. Desire without discipline is a candle in the wind. Ford rose before dawn, day after relentless day, refining his assembly line until it transformed industry. Lincoln endured defeat after defeat, sharpening his purpose until the presidency itself could not elude him. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom, the power to command your own hours, to harness time rather than be consumed by it. Yet the world will test that discipline. You will meet resistance disguised as reason. Friends may smile and suggest you lower your sights. Circumstances will whisper that you are unprepared. Understand this. Obstacles are not warnings to turn back. They are the toll required for passage. Every setback is an invitation to prove that you meant what you declared when you began. Gratitude becomes your armor here. It is the quiet strength that keeps resentment from poisoning your focus. Be grateful for the challenges. They carve character. Be grateful for the small victories. They are proof of momentum. Gratitude transforms struggle into fuel, keeping the heart strong when the path grows dark. Adaptability is the next law of endurance. Rigid minds break. Flexible minds bend and build anew. Edison tested thousands of filaments not because he loved failure, but because he understood that reality rewards those who adjust. Success belongs to the one who learns faster than circumstance can shift. And then comes resilience, the heartbeat of every triumph. Resilience is more than recovery. It is the refusal to lose enthusiasm after loss. It is the courage to face the same door 1,000 times, knowing that the 1,001st knock may swing it wide. Every fortune, every great invention, every masterpiece is a monument to someone who simply refused to stop. So ask yourself, where have you delayed? Where have you waited for certainty instead of creating it? The beginning is never comfortable. It is meant to feel like leaping from solid ground into the unknown, because that is where transformation lives. Start before you are ready. Act while others hesitate. The world does not reward the one who almost begins. It crowns the one who moves. The moment you decide, you awaken a force that has slept inside you since birth. It is the same force that drove explorers to cross oceans before maps were drawn. The same fire that kept inventors in dim workshops long after the candles burned low. Decision is not a thought. It is a vow. When you truly decide, you cut away every exit. You burn the boats. You remove the word maybe from your vocabulary, and in its place you carve a single command: forward. Most people never reach this place. They toy with an idea the way a child toys with a flame, curious but unwilling to be burned. They say they want change, but they keep an escape route. And so the universe responds with indifference. Opportunity favors the unwavering, not the half-hearted. Purpose sharpens this vow. Purpose is more than a goal. It is the reason you breathe. When Andrew Carnegie sought to build an empire of steel, it wasn't merely for wealth. He envisioned bridges spanning rivers, cities rising from once barren landscapes. Purpose lifts ambition from self-interest to something greater, something capable of withstanding storms. Ask yourself, what vision would you defend even if no one applauded? That is where your power hides. But vision alone is not enough. You must see it, taste it, live in it before it exists. Visualization is not wishful thinking. It is mental construction. Napoleon Hill wrote that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. When Walt Disney walked the swampland that would become the Magic Kingdom, he described the castles and parades as if they already stood before him. The world called him a dreamer. He was simply rehearsing reality. Belief of this magnitude demands discipline. Discipline is the muscle that holds belief upright when doubt presses in. It is waking before the world starts stirs, practicing when the crowd is gone, refining when no applause is near. Think of athletes who rise before dawn to train, or writers who labor through the silence of midnight. Discipline turns invisible desire into tangible triumph. Without it, the grandest vision remains a sketch. Still, discipline without action is only preparation. You must strike. Opportunities are like doors in a storm. They swing open and slam shut without warning. The bold do not wait for the perfect alignment of stars. They act in the half-light, shaping circumstances as they go. Henry Ford once said, "You can't build a reputation on what you are going to do." He built it on what he did every single day. Action carries a paradox. The path will never feel certain. Fear will walk beside you. Let it. Fear is proof you are stretching beyond the small circle of comfort that traps the masses. Those who succeed learn to act with fear, to let it sharpen rather than paralyze. Each step forward weakens its grip. You will be tested, not once but relentlessly. There will be nights when failure feels permanent, when rejection echoes louder than your own heartbeat. This is where resilience becomes more than a word. Resilience is rising again with a clearer mind and a stronger will. Abraham Lincoln faced defeat after defeat, business failures, political losses, personal tragedy, yet he carried on until history itself bowed to his perseverance. Every setback carved him into the leader he needed to become. Gratitude will keep you grounded through these storms. It transforms hardship into instruction. When you thank the challenge, you strip it of power. When you thank the small wins, you multiply them. Gratitude is the alchemy that turns struggle into wisdom and keeps the heart free of bitterness. Adaptability follows close behind. The landscape of opportunity changes without warning. Markets shift, technology evolves, relationships transform. Those who cling to yesterday's plan break like brittle wood. Those who learn, pivot, and grow become unstoppable. Edison tested thousands of ideas before the light bulb burned steady. He did not mourn the failures. He collected them as data. And through all of this, decision, purpose, vision, discipline, action, resilience. Remember that mastery is not an end state. It is a lifetime of becoming. Success is not a single mountain peak, but a range, each summit revealing another beyond it. The journey is the reward, for in the striving you become someone new, bolder, wiser, unrecognizable to the person who once hesitated at the starting line. So begin. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect. Now! Because the only true failure is to wait so long that life decides for you. Every legend, every empire, every revolution of thought began with a single imperfect step taken by someone who refused to wait. Let that someone be you. When you begin, you ignite a chain reaction you cannot fully see. A single courageous act sets forces in motion. Alliances form, mentors appear, coincidences align. Some call it luck, others call it providence. But those who act know it as the natural reward of movement. The universe bends toward the one who steps forward with conviction. Consider the pioneers who built railways across continents, or entrepreneurs who transformed barren stretches of desert into thriving cities. They did not wait for a guarantee. They stepped into a landscape of uncertainty and drew maps with their own footprints. That is the pattern of creation. First comes the leap, then the path reveals itself. The mind you carry into this journey is your greatest ally or your silent assassin. Guard it fiercely. Fill it with the words of giants, the visions of possibility, the discipline of daily victory. Do not allow the small talk of the defeated to nest in your thoughts. The world is full of voices eager to explain why your dream cannot be done. Let them speak. Their doubt is a reflection of their own limitations, not yours. Feed your mind with learning as a warrior sharpens a blade. Read voraciously. Study those who have carved their names into history's granite. Observe how they thought, how they failed, how they rose again. Knowledge is more than information. It is ammunition. The right idea at the right time can pivot an entire life, but knowledge alone is a dormant seed. Its power awakens only when you plant it in action. Too many collect insights like trophies, shining and unused. The masters take one principle and live it until it becomes muscle memory. They turn thought into habit, habit into character, and character into destiny. Wealth, true wealth, is born in this union of thought and relentless action. It is not merely money, though money is a natural byproduct. It is the freedom to create, to contribute, to choose your direction without fear. It is the abundance of mind that sees possibility where others see scarcity. This wealth does not arrive by accident. It is invited by discipline and sustained by gratitude. Gratitude, again, is the quiet giant. It prevents success from turning into arrogance and keeps ambition from souring into greed. A grateful heart is unshakable because it draws strength from what already is rather than what is missing. Carnegie built libraries across nations because he understood that giving multiplies gain. The richest lives are those that give back more than they take. Yet giving requires courage, for to give is to believe there will always be more. And there will be more. Ideas, opportunities, victories if you remain in motion. Stagnation is the true enemy. The moment you stop reaching, the moment you declare yourself finished, decay begins. Growth is the natural state of a determined soul. That is why failure, when it arrives, is never final. Failure is feedback. It is the compass correcting your course. Every misstep contains data. Learn it, use it, and move. Those who fear failure stay small. Those who welcome it expand beyond imagination. Look at Edison again. Thousands of failed attempts at a workable filament, each one a lesson, each one narrowing the distance to victory. He did not call them failures. He called them discoveries of what would not work. That is the mindset that builds worlds. So when the nights are long and the results seem distant, remember this: persistence outlasts resistance. Every hour of effort is compounding. Every disciplined day stacking unseen bricks beneath your feet. The wall may look unchanged until suddenly it towers above you. That is how greatness grows, silently, steadily, then all at once. Do not ask for an easy road. Ask for the strength to travel the hard one. Ease creates comfort, and comfort creates mediocrity. The hard path forges character, endurance, wisdom, the traits that carry you through storms and into lasting triumph. You were not born for a life of quiet resignation. You were born to build, to stretch, to transform thought into form. The tools are already within you: decision, purpose, vision, discipline, action, resilience, gratitude, adaptability, and relentless learning. No one can gift you these. No one can steal them. They are yours to awaken. Begin now. The clock is already running. The world waits for the one bold enough to move while others hesitate. Do not let another sunrise pass without taking a step that scares you. The difference between those who wish and those who become is this single, defiant act. They begin and they do not stop. Momentum is a living force. Once you set it in motion, it hungers for more. Each step, no matter how small, feeds the next. What began as a single act of courage becomes a current that carries you forward even when your muscles ache and your resolve trembles. This is why the first step is everything, because movement creates its own energy. But understand this: momentum must be protected. Distraction is its thief. Every needless scroll, every aimless conversation, every compromise with mediocrity bleeds the power you have built. Guard your focus as a king guards a crown. Schedule your days like a sculptor plans each strike of the chisel. Deliberate, intentional, unwilling to waste a moment. And when resistance rises, as it surely will, remember that it is not a sign to stop. It is confirmation you are on the right path. The storm appears when you are nearing the breakthrough. Athletes know this truth in their bones. The final miles hurt the most because the finish line is near. Push through and the pain becomes proof of progress. The mind is both battlefield and temple. Feed it with images of the life you choose to create. Every morning, see the victory before it exists. Not as fantasy, but as rehearsal. Champions win in their minds before they win in the arena. When the body follows a vision that is already alive within, the impossible becomes inevitable. Do not fear solitude. Greatness is often forged in silence, away from the noise of applause and the opinions of the crowd. Lincoln walked alone through sleepless nights before, delivering words that would heal a fractured nation. Solitude clarifies. It strips away the trivial and leaves only what matters. Seek those hours. They are not empty. They are the workshop of destiny. As your journey unfolds, measure success not only by what you accumulate, but by who you become. Wealth without wisdom is a hollow victory. Power without integrity collapses under its own weight. Let character be the foundation. Honor your word. Treat every person as a potential ally. Remember that the true giants of history are remembered as much for their virtue as for their victories. Generosity will elevate you further. Give before you are asked. Invest in others without keeping score. A single act of service can open doors no strategy could force. This is not charity. It is enlightened self-interest. The world responds to those who create value beyond themselves, and yet never mistake humility for weakness. Walk with quiet confidence. Carry the knowledge of your worth like a flame that does not flicker in the wind. When you respect yourself, others sense it long before you speak. Opportunities are drawn to those who radiate certainty. Expect seasons of doubt. Even the most disciplined minds hear the whisper, "What if you are wrong?" Let the question come, then answer it with action. Doubt cannot survive repeated proof. Each small victory, each task completed, each challenge faced, silences the echo of fear. Time will be your greatest asset if you honor it. Every hour is a currency that can never be refunded. Spend it on creation, on learning, on love, on mastery. Waste it and no fortune can buy it back. This urgency is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to free you from delay. You will reach a point when others call you fortunate. They will see the results and label them luck. But you will know the truth. It was decision, discipline, resilience, and relentless action that sculpted your so-called luck. Fortune follows those who move with purpose while others hesitate. Remember always, you were never competing with the world. The real contest is within. Against yesterday's doubts, yesterday's habits, yesterday's comfort. Win there, and the external victories become inevitable. So rise each day as if history is watching, because it is. The future is built by those who act when it would be easier to wait. Begin while others plan. Continue while others pause. Endure while others quit. This is the quiet, unglamorous formula behind every towering success. And when you look back, years from now, may you find no trace of the person who once feared to start. May you see only the proof of a life decided, a destiny claimed, a mountain climbed not by chance, but by choice.